Is a degree from NC State actually worth it? I mean, it's a huge question, right? For so many students and parents. Well, today we're going to ditch the opinions and dig right into the data to see what the real return on investment looks like. Let's get into it. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that'll make you sit up. The average starting salary for an NC State engineering grad, over $80,000. Wow. I mean, that's an incredible start to a career, right? It makes a really strong case for the value of this degree. But, and this is a big but, that is not the whole story. Because if you graduate with a degree in biological sciences from the same university, your average starting salary is just under 28 grand. That is a massive $50,000 gap. So, what is going on here? How can one school lead to such wildly different financial futures? That's exactly what we're here to figure out. All right, so to figure out the return, we've got to first understand the investment. Let's talk about what it actually costs to join the Wolfpack. Okay, the first thing that jumps out is just how much your residency matters. If you're an in-state student, you're looking at just under $29,000 a year. But if you're coming from out of state, that number skyrockets to over $54,000. That's almost double. Keep that huge difference in your back pocket because it's going to be really important later. And of course, for a lot of students, this is the reality. The average grad walks away with over 25 grand in student loans. Now, sure, that's less than a lot of private schools, but let's be real, that's still a pretty big number to have hanging over your head, right when you're starting out. But wait, this sticker price is not the final word. NC State has some seriously prestigious scholarships. I'm talking about big names like the Park, Goodnight, and Caldwell programs. And these are more than just a check. They are full-blown leadership programs that can literally cover the entire cost of attendance for the best of the best. And when that happens, the whole ROI equation just gets flipped on its head. If you want personalized help saving $40,000 or more on college costs, check the link in the description to learn about our College Savings Mentor program. Okay, so we've talked money. Now, what does it actually take to get through the front door? Let's take a look at the admissions gauntlet for the Wolfpack. Yeah, these numbers really tell the story, don't they? Almost 50,000 applications. This place is tough to get into. The average student who gets accepted has a weighted GPA of 4.34 and an SAT that's creeping up on 1,400. So we're not just talking about getting good grades, we're talking about being a top-tier student in a pretty competitive pool. And here's the real key. Pay attention to this. See that gap between the weighted 4.34 and the unweighted 3.83? That little half-point difference tells you everything. It means the students getting in aren't just getting A's. They're getting A's in the hardest classes available. We're talking AP, IB, the whole shebang. So the takeaway here is simple. Academic rigor is a huge deal for admissions. All right, so once you're in, you're officially part of NC State's famous think and do culture. So let's pull back the curtain and see what the academic engine of this place is all about. Now, you might think engineering is the be-all and end-all here, and it's definitely a huge strength. But surprisingly, the most popular major, based on how many degrees they hand out, is actually business administration. After that, you've got biological sciences and psychology. It just goes to show you, even at a big STEM school, there's a really diverse student body with all kinds of interests. A 15-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. You know, for a school with over 40,000 students, that's actually really impressive. So what does that mean for you? Well, yeah, your Intro to Chem lecture is probably going to feel like a rock concert. But once you get into your upper-level classes, those seminars get way smaller, and you actually get real FaceTime and mentorship from some incredible professors. And this is the do part of think and do. Make no mistake, NC State is an absolute research titan. They have these world-class centers working on everything from cutting-edge semiconductors to 3D printing and cybersecurity. And this isn't just theory locked away in a lab. It's hands-on, real-world innovation. Undergrads can get involved, work on actual problems, and that experience, it makes them incredibly attractive to top companies the second they graduate. Of course, college is way more than just classes and labs. So let's talk about what it's actually like to live on campus in Raleigh, and just as importantly, how the school keeps its students safe. So you've got 40,000 students. How on earth do you make a campus that big feel small and personal? Well, NC State has a really cool answer. They're living and learning villages. Basically, you live in themed dorms with people who share your interests, whether that's engineering, art, or global issues. It creates these instant communities. You throw in the insane energy of ACC sports culture, a free bus system that gets you everywhere, and suddenly that massive campus feels a lot more like home. And let's not forget, you're in Raleigh, right next to the Research Triangle Park, a gold mine for internships with major tech and biotech companies. When it comes to safety, NC State is all in. They don't just have security guards, they have their own fully sworn professional police department. They're on the job 24/7, 365 days a year. It's a serious operation. And they've got the whole safety system to back it up. You've got the Wolf Alert system, which blasts out notifications about any potential threats on campus. Pulling an all-nighter at the library, you can call for a safety escort to get you home. The school is really proactive about this stuff, constantly running programs on crime prevention to make sure students know how to stay safe. All right, we've looked at the price tag, we've seen the academics, we've talked about the campus life. Now, it's time for the final verdict. Let's bring it all together and figure out the real return on investment. This right here, this is a huge deal. A staggering 96% of graduates are working or in grad school within just 6 months of getting their diploma. That is an absolutely elite number. It tells you one thing very clearly. Whether they're hitting the job market or continuing their education, NC State grads are wanted. Okay, so let's circle back to that huge salary gap we saw at the very beginning. What this tells us is that it's not just about the major, it's about the path. For a STEM student, that think and do approach makes their degree a direct pipeline into a great paying job right away. But for someone in, say, biology or history, that undergrad degree is often the launching pad for something else, like med school or law school or a master's program. That's where their big salary potential is unlocked. So it's not that one is better than the other, it's just that the timeline for the return on investment looks different. So is NC State the right fit for you? Let's break it down. NC State is probably a fantastic fit if you are all in on a career in STEM, business, or the applied sciences. You'll love it if you thrive in a big, energetic, urban campus with a ton of school spirit. And if you want amazing access to internships, it's a goldmine. On the flip side, you might want to think twice if you're an out-of-state student worried about the high cost for a humanities degree, or if you're just looking for a smaller, quieter, liberal arts vibe. It really comes down to what you're looking for. And in the end, it all boils down to this one question. The data doesn't lie. NC State can offer a fantastic return on your investment. But that return is at its absolute peak when your goals line up perfectly with what the university does best: technology, science, and hands-on applied learning. So the real question is that the right investment for your future? Before you go, check the description for a link to our College Savings Mentor program, where we help families save $40,000 or more on college costs. Hey, thanks so much for sticking with us for this deep dive into NC State. If this was helpful for you, please head over to our YouTube page. We've got a bunch of these data-driven explainers for other top colleges. We'll see you in the next one.